let the former president take the stage while that's going on, I just can't understand the thinking of that. And then to know that he was on the stage while they knew there was someone on the roof. It's okay to have a false alarm. They should have not let him on, but certainly then once they found out there was someone on a roof so close, they should have ushered him off that stage quickly.
So almost exactly a week after the assassination attempt on former President Trump, questions asked still about how the security operation failed to stop the shooter. The Wall Street Journal reports this morning that the gunman, Thomas Matthew Crooks, was able to fly a drone, no less, over the site in Pennsylvania and record footage shortly before the president took the stage. Well, I talked earlier to Michael Tabman. He's a former FBI special agent.
The more I hear, the more troubled I am as more information comes out. At the beginning, I was somewhat hesitant to criticize the Secret Service. They're usually pretty good at what they do. But now I hear news that there was a suspicious person identified about an hour before the shooting occurred. And then they were looking for someone, they being the police, and they notified the Secret Service. I was wondering if maybe they didn't have, a mutual or, radio station, a shared, communication device. And then he was seen on the roof. I don't know how all this happened, and the former president was allowed to take the stage, knowing that there's a suspicious person in the midst and they haven't identified him yet.
I mean, have you been in situations like that? Presumably, your eyes are peeled. You're just looking for anything suspicious. You report it up, you report it around, and you intervene, don't you? Isn't that the point? Also, I mean, the jaw-dropping news that he was seen with a rangefinder scoping out the distance of the shot.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. You intervene. There's no point in just seeing it and talking about it, especially when the whole function of the Secret Service is to provide this kind of executive protection. What are we protecting against? A would-be assassin. And we're looking for suspicious behavior, something that would indicate this is a person of interest. And while you're pursuing, you should first be pursuing it with with all manpower available. But to let the former president take the stage while that's going on, I just can't understand the thinking of that. And then to know that he was on the stage while they knew there was someone on the roof. It's okay to have a false alarm. They should have not let him on, but certainly then once they found out there was someone on a roof so close, they should have ushered him off that stage quickly. A false alarm is okay.
And just as you mentioned that roof, apparently it didn't have security agents on that roof itself because there was a danger to them because it was slightly sloping.
Right. But if it was already identified as a security risk, then it should have been under observation, perhaps with Secret Service drones or someone from another rooftop. It seems incomprehensible that Crooks was able to climb to the top of that undetected. And supposedly there were agents or officers inside that building. This just seems like a series of errors. I can't understand this complete lapse of security and really ineffective police work.
What kind of shockwaves do you think it is sending through the security services?
Well, the Secret Service is probably very nervous right now about what's going to happen. The director is going to have to answer to a very angry Congress. And, jobs are at risk here, and, the finger pointing usually goes downhill. But the director is going to have to answer for some inconsistencies in her previous statements. And, the structure of the Secret Service is similar to the FBI. You have a field office, and in that field office, you have a special agent in charge who is an ultimate command of the office. And I don't know if every security detail goes through headquarters. I imagine not. So you have to find out where did it end? Who put that final stamp of approval on was clearly such a poorly planned operation. So someone's going to have to answer for approving this and not making sure that every I was dotted and T was crossed when protecting a former president and a presidential candidate.
And how nervous must they be with a long campaign ahead, a polarized nation, so many angry people, and so many guns out there?
Well, that's correct. And just the law enforcement community in general, and I myself now as a private citizen, I'm very worried. I think, not to say good news, but the FBI has pretty much determined, one, he was a lone wolf. We don't have a continuing conspiracy. We don't have some extremist group or domestic terrorism group behind all this. And the fact is that they don't believe this was ideological, that he was either supporting Trump or Biden or either one. So I would hope that that would quash some of the conspiracy theories out there. Though once those theories take hold, they kind of form a life themselves. But I was also concerned, though, that it could go two other ways, depending on what ideology was following. There could be someone saying, "Gee, I want to finish this job," what he was doing, or someone saying, "I need to take revenge on behalf of the former president." Either way, there was no good option, and I'm still concerned that this may, lead to more violence in some respect for those who don't believe the facts, or those who are going to believe the conspiracy theories.
And what kind of extra security do you think we're going to see throughout this campaign? I mean, it's going to be on a vast scale, isn't it? Because, we're not just talking about a presidential election, it's a general election. So many thousands of candidates right across the country.
Right, right. Now, again, from the Secret Service perspective, there's only certain candidates that they are required to protect. Of course, Donald Trump had that protection anyway by being a former president. I'd like to say, on the one hand, security should be ramped up, obviously, but more importantly, the security should be what it should have been to begin with. Again, generally speaking, the Secret Service is highly trained, highly capable. Again, you can't stop every threat. No one can guarantee that nothing's going to occur.